Hey guys, and welcome back to kind of a follow-up video. We're going to go on from the kind of the late night stream that I did not last night, night before. That's the one. We're going to carry on with this Nab Rappy capture, where we're after these Nab Rappies. We are on an adventure to make this Force character. This is the one we're leveling up. I started off with the Hunter. Hello, what the fuck are you? What the fuck? I'm going to ignore that, because I'm only playing solo anyway, so it makes no difference. Yeah, if you've not seen it, Phantasy Star Online 2 is the name of the game. Like you didn't know already. Of course you knew. This is a beta. It's Japanese. So, if you're like me, you don't understand shit. And if you've got the English patch, then that sort of helps a little bit. Just a bit though, because it's still... it's all just gibberish and gobbledy bollocks. Oh dear. No, but I was playing a Hunter to begin with. And I thought, you know, I'll try the Force because they're a bit quicker. I didn't really like the swords that much, and the only one I liked was the wired lances, to be honest. So I figured go with the Force, and the goal that we have at the minute, our first big goal, is to reach level 20. I think level 20 is where the subclasses come in, because you get your main class, and then you get a subclass to go with it. And the cool thing about this is obviously that you can change out which class you use at any given time, and also which subclass you use, which is a brilliant feature. Which means I am going to keep making new characters every time I get bored after leveling like 5 times with a new character, because that tends to happen quite a lot. So we're going to... at the minute, I'm just going through this same mission a few times because it's part of the daily quest that I have to complete several times over, and the more I complete it, the better the reward from the quest is. So we're just going to be going through it multiple times. I'll do this one, I think, for this one, and then do the rest off screen and come back with something different rather than doing, you know, video after video on the exact same mission. But what about you guys? Any of you watching in the beta? Would you like to? There's definitely some really good guides on how to actually sign up and get into the beta and start playing. If you don't know how to read Japanese, if you do, then fucking good for you, brilliant. Top job, but I, for one, do not know. And there's still quite a lot of stuff where I don't actually know what I'm doing or what's going on. I'm just kind of trying to pick up a little bit slowly as I go along, and hoping that it works out. And it seems to be doing me fairly well for the moment. Sort of. I'm getting the hang of it ever so slowly. There are parts of the game that are heavily populated by English speaking people, which is always good if you want to meet people who actually talk the same language as you. I've always found that to be quite useful when trying to converse with somebody, especially being as I'm not that great at talking English myself. I'm kind of shite at it. Where was I? Getting into the game, that was it. Shit. That'd be a good start. I'll leave links for it. There's a really good guide if you want to get in on it, so you can follow that and start playing the game yourself, because you ought to be, because it's fucking fantastic from, you know, what I can understand and what I have played. And just round seems to be a fairly good MMO, you know, heavily instanced, which I don't actually mind it. I was never a fan of it before, but it works to its advantage, I think, very well. Ooh. More useless shit, thank you very much. Oh, actually, I don't think it is that useless. I think I could upgrade that, yeah. What I think that was an upgrade to one of the spells I'm using. I could be wrong, but who knows? I'll figure it out eventually. Are you a part of the beta? Is another question we could go towards answering. If you are, what are your experiences with it? Are you enjoying it? I'd like to know, I'd like to get more of a kind of a census on what people's preferred classes are, what the playstyle, like, especially when it comes to the subclass system. Like, what do you tend to go for your main class and your subclass? What kind of... Because every main class and subclass they work together differently to create different playstyles, whether you want to, you know, go for nuking or, you know, more of a tanky type. I'm still not entirely sure what I'm aiming for. I just know I want to play as a force as my main class. So we'll get into that. That's why, you know, I could do with some help if, you know, any advice or anything like that would be gladly taken. A translator would be nice as well if you are one of those. That would be fantastic. I highly doubt that though, but if you are, do you want to translate for me? Because there's still quite a lot that isn't in English. But then again, you've got to remember that, you know, it's not intended to be. It's not intended to be played outside of Japan. But we kind of got in anyway. So yeah, I just want to know what other people think of the game. That's kind of the main gist of what I was going for there before I went off on another horrible, horrible tangent. Come on, rock spread you. Ooh. All I know is buttons usually mean loot. Normally loot that's shite. The green crates usually mean quite shit loot. I figured that out. That's kind of your crappy type things. You usually get the meseta from it, which is the currency used in game. Of course, there is in-game purchases with an in-game shop and that as well, using the AC current that they use. That definitely isn't intended to be used by anyone outside of Japan, but people have figured out ways to, you know, get around it. People are using fake Japanese addresses. I've read somewhere that people have actually been using SEGA's offices as the address and still getting away with it. It seems like they're not really checking where the purchases are coming from. So it doesn't seem to be too difficult, but you know, I'm really not bothered by that. I can play it for free, so why pay? Right? Right? Makes sense, doesn't it? This mag that I keep feeding is kind of a bit botched, whether you know what... I assume most, if you are playing it already, will know about the mags. If not, it's the little floaty helmet looking thing next to me. Kind of a bit of a support for your character, and the way you level it up is by letting it munch on items that you collect or that you have lying around, whatever. And the items that you feed it will give it a boost in the levels. It'd be much easier if I show you. So each of these items, they have different stats. Feeding it kind of like a sword weapon or kind of a, you know, a melee attack weapon will give it, you know, better experience in striking. The force ones is what I'm trying to level it up, which gives me the tech and the dexterity. You can, every time one of those level up, the entire mag itself levels up, and that percentage is the energy level. So at minimal, it gives it 33% per item. So that gives you 3 items to get it fully charged. So you have got to wait a bit, and it will take some time to actually level it up. but it is worth it, very much so. And when it gets to level 30, after leveling it up, the highest stat level that it has dictates what the mag evolves into, depending on whether it's force based or melee based or range based, and it'll take on a new form depending on which stat is the highest at the time it hits 30. So that's always good to keep in mind, which is why I'm going for the tech thing. But of course this character started off as a hunter, which is the melee class, so I did start feeding it swords and shit. So it's a little bit botched, but nothing I can't like recuperate, being as it was, it's only a really low level. So I've got plenty of time to fix what I broke. Ugh. Money is what I'm constantly after. I keep spending it all way too quickly without having enough of it, so I'm always dirt poor, which is never a good sign in any game, especially online games. You always need the dosh. So, if you don't know anything about this and you actually want to start getting into it, you might notice like the attack rings if you haven't played any of the Phantasy Star games, or this one in particular either. You got your normal attacks and the little rings you can see that shrink around the character every time we attack. If you click again when it gets to that red circle right at its minimal, it's called a JA, adjust attack, and it gives you a little boost if you hit it on the mark every time, and that'll help you a lot. I didn't figure that out for quite a very short time. It does bring you into it very quickly, and it is easy to figure out. It's just the first time I started playing, I was just like click, 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 and trying to get it down as fast as I could, but that does not work to your advantage at all. You should, but then, you know what I'm saying, just, try it. If you think, oh, this looks kind of fancy, the character creation, you will spend fucking, half of a decade at minimum before you actually start playing the game. Because, well, at least I do, because when it comes to character creation, I've got to spend fucking forever doing it. And you can change a shitload of stuff about your character. You can make a fucking transformer if you wanted to, and make him, make a little Optimus Prime type looking thing. It's totally up to you. It really is in depth, and it is by far one of the best character creation models I've seen in any online game. I don't think I can think of many that can actually compete with that. It is really that good, and I've spent a lot of time creating these characters. If you're wondering, when you start you only get two. You get 2 free characters, and then everyone after that you have to pay real money or Japanese money, yen or whatever. It's fairly cheap. I mean, yen isn't the strongest of currencies against, especially where I am with the pound. So you can get quite a lot of bang for your buck there. Or pound, buck. Whatever. You know what I mean? Fairly cheap. That's what I'm trying to say. That is the gist of it. You'll see me coming in here quite a lot because I'm always forgetting what energy percent it is my mag is at, and if it drops below like 66, that would be 2/3. I'll just try and keep it topped up with something that's like this. Yeah, so here we go. Like if I give it a rod weapon, which is a tech-based weapon, it'll boost up my technique and my dexterity without affecting anything else. But let's say if I give it a sword, more dexterity but striking as well, and they give it different things. So I could give it some armor, which would reduce my tech by quite a lot but give me technical defense as well as dexterity. And you can also give it potions and that for little boosts until you get to like higher items, the star atomizer being quite a big potion, giving it a little boost in multiple areas. And you can just kind of mess around with it and just see what gives you what. Like that will give me a big boost in dexterity, as with all these spells. So that's what? I'm just looking at this one because I haven't got this one. But yeah, you get the idea, and I just keep feeding it poles and rods and, you know, the talismans, any tech-based weapon. I'm going to keep that tech attack up, and like I say, when it gets to level 30, then it will give it a big boost, and it will evolve into its next form, hopefully tech-based if that's the highest stat, making it more of a support if I'm using force then, and it, you know, they have certain abilities at different levels where they can, you know, they can restore small amounts of health to you when you're near death, or restore your PP, which is kind of like the mana system, and that's obviously really helpful to a class that uses a lot of PP. If you can get something that keeps that topped up just a little bit, it's going to be a major help. So that's the gist of that. If you do start playing, prepare to get... Fucking Jesus, something crawled in my throat then. Where was I? I forgot. Yes. If you start playing, prepare to get very, very used to seeing these areas. You'll be in the forest area for some time before you move on. There are different areas. I've only played it for a very, very short while, and I've got into the next area, which is the caves, kind of like the, you know, dark volcanic cave areas. But you know, there's also deserts and big mining area and stuff as well. But for the time being, you know, you're going to be stuck with this forest area, so you better get used to it, because it'll be here for some time. Alright, where's the switch for this? Did I miss it completely? Where was the switch for this? Am I blind? Oh, I'm gonna guess it's behind here then. Come on, Rocks. What's wrong with you? Come on, seriously? There we go, there's my switch. So what you're looking for when these crates show up in any of the maps, you know, the green crates are, you know, your bog standard shite with bits of money, potions, and low level like spells. And what you're after is like the yellow crates, red crates even, you know, get some rare drops. You can get some really cool looking items. There's just so many cool looking weapons, armors, the little wings, and you know, it just is a really good looking game. Plays well. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Still trying to figure out a lot of the things I need to do. What with most of it being in fucking Japanese still. But I'll quickly show you before we go. If you come in here, this is the main hub where everyone hangs out. This is where you get all your missions, all the client orders, which are kind of like your little side missions by all these people with the blue little notes above their head. But if you come into one of these green elevators, just pop into here and you'll be greeted by a wall of symbols and smiley face symbols and stickmen with no bodies or head, and his heads fell off. But if you look through these and you got the B and then the numbers, if you come down to B20, which is normally, well, at the minute it is full as shit, but let's see if there's a space available. I like this loading screen as well. Wee-hoo, woo! Changing blocks takes forever. Also adverts. And here we are in a very laggy, overpopulated area. This is the English block. This is where you'll find people talking English as well as broken English, because of course, you know, anyone who actually just speaks English altogether, even if it's not native. And you get some cool and weird looking people, but you can see some of the sort of awesome looking weapons. There's the Ranger class if you want, you know, if guns are your thing. This guy here looks freaking awesome. I want that scarf, but I don't quite see why it's stuck in the air. That's a bit weird. Everybody's dancing. What the hell? Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to go. That's going to be it for this one. That was just a quick mission. I'm going to keep doing things like this. Just do single missions. But I'll try not to, you know, do the same one over and over again. I'll do that off screen. So, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Ta-ra!
Where's my level 12 thief?
Hey, yeah. Where's Gray?
He's in detention.
What? He flipped off the principal, so he's in detention again.
Found